So I'd just like to say Nigeria is a beautiful country. Every time I've been there, the water has been incredibly safe. I believe Techstars are doing something in Nigeria too, right?
Our latest accelerator is opening in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah, beautiful place. Strange comment to have from someone from Google, but there we go. No biases there. So my name is Anisah Osman Britton, and I am the Director of Storytelling at Calm Company Fund. And I'm here with an excellent panel to find out if different models of funding provide anything of value beside money, or if it's all just bullshit and we all like to boost up our ego with shit tons of followers on Twitter, which is sometimes quite nice as well. What's really great about this panel is that I am not an impartial moderator in any which way. All three of us have opinions on the topic. So let's start with introductions. We'll go this way and I'll finish it up.
Ladies first.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Mirella. I'm with Seedcamp. I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar. We're Europe's seed fund. We started 2007, which is 15 years ago. And you're probably familiar with some of our companies. We funded now 10%, seed funded 10% of Europe's unicorns. We're investors in Revolut, in WeFox, and TransferWise, now known as Wise. Myself, my journey actually started as a founder many, many years ago, not 15, thank God. Then I joined Google, did not make similar comments. I do not agree with these comments. And I was with Google for Startups for a few years. I worked with so many founders throughout the years, so I've seen how big companies like Google add value. Then I joined another fund and kind of helped them build their whole value proposition and their whole platform that they offer for founders from the ground up. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years until Seedcamp stole me back in London, and I joined them 6 months ago. And at Seedcamp, I'm also focusing on building the platform and supporting our founders post-investment.
I don't have nearly the background that Mirella does, so she's a very tough act to follow. We are the Stockholm Techstars accelerator. We hope to achieve what Seedcamp has achieved in Europe, in the so-called unicorn capital, Stockholm. We are vertical agnostic before taking the role just 6 weeks ago, which is why I have talking points still. I'm sorry. I'm not as well practiced as my co-panelists. I was a startup CFO for a Series A SaaS company in Stockholm. I was an investor for almost 30 years before that in New York and Denver, Colorado. And my fun fact is I beta tested Amazon in 1995 because I worked at the same hedge fund as Jeff Bezos. So I've been an Amazon customer for a very long time.
That's a wild fact.
Techstars is an operational investor supporting founders. We have 49 accelerators around the world. The latest just opened in Lagos, Nigeria. And we say hashtag do more faster. We have funded 3,000 companies. We've had 1,000 exits. We've had operated 300 accelerators. We fund 500 companies a year, and we are hyperscaling. We hope to fund 5,000 a year, according to the strategy of our new CEO. We've had 19 unicorns. I don't know how we compare to Seedcamp.
You beat that. We have 7.
And we have 7,000 founders in our network. So.
Yeah, we have 1,000. You definitely beat us on volume.
We have 60, so there you go.
You're going to hear different perspectives, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
To complete this roundup of the advertorial part of this panel.
Yes. They're called introductions.
It's pretty good, isn't it? We're doing really well. We're advertising our companies well. Tick. Calm Company Fund is a fund that invests alternatively based on a shared earnings agreement. So we invest in companies that want to build profitably, sustainably, slower, what some people may call lifestyle businesses. And I hear a lot of people scoffing at that term, but it creates generational wealth. So we invest in that way so founders can retain control. We have 62 portfolio companies now and a community of 700 people. So what's really great about this panel, as you can see, is we have funding through an accelerator model, we have straight up traditional VC, and we have alternative investment in the form of shared earnings agreement. So my first question that I'm really interested about, because it's so rare you get to speak to your peers, is how do you determine what it is you want to offer to your portfolio?
Well, I think for me, it's all about building for the community. building with the community, not for the community. So for me, it's always asking the portfolio companies first, like, what do they need? I think for us, like, the most important thing is we want to support our companies to Series A. We're the first investor from seed to Series A. In the first 18 months, our companies need the most support. So what we do is when companies join us and we back them and we're the first investors who back them, we know what Series A investors need and we kind of help our companies navigate that journey. So when we first invest, all of our companies is assigned someone from our team to literally super closely like guide them through that journey for the first 18 months. And it's like different from operational to functional support. I don't want this panel to turn into VCs patting themselves on the shoulder and telling how many things they do for the companies. I'm not going to go into details for that. But yeah, for me, it's all about asking the portfolio and the community first, understanding what their needs are, and tailoring them specifically for that.
And what do they need?
Well, every company needs something different. Like for what we do is, I think, against popular belief, like a lot of people think that Seedcamp is actually a really big team. We now have 350 active portfolio companies, and we're only 15 people team. So we have a big network of mentors, entrepreneurs in residence, and experts, and we see them as an extension to our team. So if one of our companies needs, like, I don't know, they're hiring a head of sales in Germany, and they want like someone who actually already done it, we tap into that network. So for us, it's all about tailored, really operational or functional support. But we ask exactly what they need, and we bring that.
I think the risk on these panels is that we become very self-aggrandizing and self-promotional. So I don't want to speak for Techstars. I would like to give the founders that I've met who are from Techstars their voices, and I want to quote from some of the things they've told me about what Techstars means to them. They say it's all about the mentors and the connections they make when they're in the program. They say they love their MD, their managing director, who's a virtual co-founder with them. What somebody last night described Techstars as lightning for them. I've had somebody tell me that another accelerator gave them a bicycle, Techstars gave them a motorcycle. And I heard somebody tell me I would do it again tomorrow. I don't know that you can go through the same accelerator twice, can you?
You tell us. I don't know.
I don't know. So I think what you're hearing is people don't do Techstars for the money. I think when you meet founders, very often they look at your terms in very concrete ways and say, is this how you're valuing my company? I would say that what the value of Techstars is actually in the t-shirt. One of the founders I met here was wearing his Techstars hoodie, and that's how we connected. It's a brand, it's a global brand, you're Techstars for life. That's what the value is for him. And there's a great tweet by our chief evangelist. We have a chief evangelist, believe it or not. It sounds very American. And he tweeted a picture of his hoodie saying, "This is what you get when you join Techstars. You get a hoodie that will identify you all over the world as a member of the Techstars community, and that's what you're really signing up for. Not money, you're signing up for this hoodie."
But what does that actually bring, right? Like, how is that not fluff? I mean, it is actually legitimately, literally fluff, but what does that hoodie represent to them?
Do you want me to pantomime this? I will stand up. Show me the data, is what my shirt says. I don't know if you could.
Let me see the shirt. Show me the data.
Are you going to show us the data? Or you're
I'm
just
going to show you the data.
Right, great.
I'm not going to take my clothes off on stage. It's not that kind of panel. So we have 7,000 mentors. The number one thing people want is mentorship. We have the other 11 companies in your class that become really part of your founding class. We have, in Mentor Madness, we bring 80 to 120 mentors into the program for 2 weeks, and you meet, let's say on average, 100 people who will help you grow. We have 17,000 investors in our network. So we do programming and education. Earlier panel today, both panelists recommended a book called Venture Deals, which is by our co-founder, Brad Feld.
Come on, everyone recommends that.
But only
the most read book in VC.
But only I'm wearing the Techstars t-shirt. We have perks. We have 200 partners for perks, notional value of $1 to $2 million. It's what everybody offers, AWS and Peloton even.
Cool, so I'm going to stop you.
Do you want me to keep going with the data?
No, I'm going to stop you because let's talk about mentors. Mentors is a really interesting topic, and I will kick it off. one of the things we see with big brand names like Techstars, which is a big brand name now, and Seedcamp, which is definitely a big brand name in the UK and across Europe, it's well recognized. Lots of people want to become mentors to put it on their LinkedIn. It's a great badge. But how much value they actually bring in the later stages of an accelerator is something that I'm starting to hear more and more from founders as not being very valuable. They have someone who is there, but it doesn't quite relate to the startup. They haven't had that experience. One thing, I'm quite new to Calm Fund. I've been there about 6 months now. One thing that I've really found quite revolutionary about the way they do mentorship is everyone who is a mentor also has to be an investor in the fund. So they're all LPs in one way, shape, or form, which gives you that aligned incentive to support the startup, to support the fund, so that everyone grows. The issue with it, and the biggest issue of it, is 95% of those mentors are white men. And so though it's great, the fact that we have very aligned mentorship, what we're struggling with, let's talk about some of the shit at some of our places. It's important. What we're struggling with is where do we have diverse experience in people and their experiences going through it. So what are your challenges with mentorship? What do you think is really great about what you're currently offering, and what is really missing?
I feel like when it comes to mentors, so actually I'm looking after a mentor network, so can definitely say a few words about that. And I agree to what you said. Sometimes a lot of mentors just want to put it on their LinkedIn, but it's our job to actually make sure that these people are going to deliver value. The first thing that I did when I joined Seedcamp was to go through our mentor network and actually talk to every single person from that network. Because it's also, we sometimes often think only about the founders and what the founders want. But for the mentors to be engaged and actually support our founders, we need to ask them what they want as well. So it's a two-way relationship and it's a two-way communication. So if you know what the mentors want, you kind of incentivize them to, sometimes it's an angel investment opportunity. I did a survey through all the mentors, and if I could choose, I would say that all the mentors want angel investment opportunities. But actually, the top rated, what people said and what they needed was they just wanted to know what's happening in the tech scene, and they see Seedcamp as a leader in what's happening in the tech scene in London. So they just wanted to just know what's happening. And when we figured that out, we created a whole network for our mentors to meet each other as well, and it's a way for us to communicate with them. So back to your point, I think it's a two-way street. You need to make sure that the mentors are valued and they are getting what they want to get out of that experience, so they have the intrinsic motivation to support their founders.
I would add the pandemic has also changed the mentoring experience. It has enabled, we went fully virtual, but I think there are some lessons from the pandemic that we maybe want to keep some of the virtual mentors in-person programs.
I actually think that the virtual mentorship is better. It allows us, I think for us, especially with Seedcamp, I said with 350 portfolio companies, you also have so many companies. We need to build platforms and we need to build processes that are at scale. And actually being virtual, it's super easy. It also really helps, back to your point, how to evaluate if mentors, it's actually bringing value to the company. We then ask the companies, and they rate the mentors. And if everything is happening online, and for our sheer scale of things that we do online, you can share feedback forms really quick, and you can just schedule everything. But that's it. If you're planning at scale, online actually works better, I think.
I'm actually going to jump in. I'm so sorry.
Please, I was going to give you the cue.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're fully remote as well. All of our mentors are distributed around the world. And what I have found is this succinct agenda that they have created that I guess is part of our request from mentors is really valuable. You take that 15 to 30-minute conversation around a very specific topic, how do you fire someone? How do you acknowledge that someone wants shares that doesn't reflect the work that they're doing? The very specific questions that they can then be right, this person fits that, this person fits that, and they don't have to be in your local vicinity. And I think that idea that we've all heard for the last 20 years of the smartest people are not in your room, they're not in your company, has become much more practically available to these founders?
It also answers your questions around diversity, like having all of our mentorship network online actually helped us like tap into more diverse pool of mentors who are all over the world. They don't need to be like close to our offices in London, like they can be anywhere.
Well, I want to bring it back to the diversity point because it falls on our shoulders to recruit the mentors. So it is a two-way street, but if you have many more inbound requests for mentors than you can handle, there's a sourcing and vetting function. And I think what we try to do at Techstars is lead by example. You'll be pleased to hear this. Our CEO is a female immigrant. 60% of our executive leadership team is female. Half of those women are women of color or immigrants. And this is for a US-based company. So I think part of what we signal to the market is we believe in building diverse teams at our company, and then we like funding diverse teams. In fact, they are part of our internal targets. In accelerators, we have diversity targets that we need to meet internally. And then we have stretch targets. I know where I would like the Stockholm Accelerator to be this fall. I know what I'm mandated to be, but I know where I would like it to be. And that kind of leadership comes from the top at a company like Techstars.
Do you think that impacts the founders?
Absolutely.
How?
Because when people apply, they say, my team isn't diverse enough. Where do I find more diverse members of the team?
Love that. Okay, so we have 3 minutes left. So I want to do a couple of very quick fire questions. How do we only have 3 minutes left?
This has been so much fun.
It's been great. What are the 3 things you think you offer that are essential to founders, aside from money?
I already quoted all the numbers. I think what's interesting is we have 17 people at Techstars building the local ecosystem. We have 15 lawyers guiding people through incorporation, whether you want to incorporate in the US or not. We have 52 engineers, 20 of whom work on entrepreneur success. And we have 20 people in portfolio services. Most VC firms will brag if they have 1 or 2. So we offer founders, 2/3 of Techstars works after the accelerator to support founders on their journey from accelerator to IPO. And that is, I think, what we offer people, is this holistic life cycle approach. I heard you say you support founders to Series A, and I'm not questioning your corporate strategy, but why not support them for their whole founder journey? Why not support them until they exit and then come back and start their next company?
Mirella, your 3?
I would say the
You have
Seedcamp
Revolut,
Nation.
by the way, so.
Sorry?
You have Revolut, you're doing fine.
I'll give you only one.
Great.
It's the Seedcamp Nation, which is a combination of the network that we offer from our mentors, entrepreneurs in residence, experts in residence, but also the founders themselves. Because I think sometimes we always think that we need to bring experts from somewhere outside. Like we have, as you said, we have companies who are now unicorn level to companies who are just 2 people and a website now. So what is also important for us is to kind of nurture this internal relationships and recycling of knowledge within the portfolio as well.
I think ours is that everyone on the team, no one is VC, a career VC. Everyone is an operator from a startup in some way, shape, or form, which has been really powerful. The second, I think, biggest one is if you're building with no code tools, we are the place to be. All of our engineers are no code, apart from me, but I'm not in an engineering role. And I think the third is this idea of how do you grow a business differently to what success has been preached to look like, that if you don't want to be a VC unicorn, which I'm a big fan of. Okay, last final, very quick question. How do we get money from you? How do we be part of you? Be part of your program?
Applications close May 11th.
Easy.
Well, we're always accepting applications, so. Sorry, we're always looking for new companies, so you can always reach out to us.
We are application-based fund. We don't take any email introductions. It's all done through an application form.
I was very curious on what don't founders need from us.
What don't, go on then, we've got 55 seconds. What do founders not need from us? Founders don't need you to be a vocal VC founder on Twitter with your hot takes and not actually do the work internally.
Mirella?
Well, I feel like now in the pandemic, like people get too much exposure to like one-to-many formats of workshop. It's the yet another workshop, there yet another webinar, which is someone just telling you for 45 minutes what to do and rumbling about stuff. So I don't think we need that anymore. We need tailored individual support for each portfolio company and founder.
I would say false promises, accelerators that promise you capital and then don't deliver.
And I think the last one we all agree on, because we've all talked about it, is retention of control by the founders. None of us can tell a founder how to run their own business. We're there to provide what they need, not to tell them what they need, which is very powerful. Thank you so much to all of you. It's been a great panel. If you have any questions for everyone is on Twitter, and you can find us in the hallways after this talk. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, TechChill.